What's going on, you guys? Jay here, and welcome back to the channel. So we're jumping straight into this one today. We've got a lot to go through here on the channel as always, but if you guys don't mind, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Those three things are really going to help us out here. They're really going to help us grow. So we've got a request to inject liquidity for Terraport as outlined by proposal 12171. And if you're new to LUNC, which wouldn't surprise me, we've got a lot of new holders coming in, which is brilliant. That's exactly what you want to see. 121 was the phased approach to establish on-chain liquidity for USDC on Terra Classic. And this comes in the form of a sub-DAO. This is a second layer of governance, which is governed by 10 validators that voted themselves into those positions. Now, with you caught up, with you up to speed, we can now go back to this discussion, which I assume is going to be going into the governance phase in the near future. And in short, there's not really a lot to go off here. It's pretty blunt what they're asking for. There's a bit of self-presentation, but they are requesting a pool deployment of around $25,000 USDC and $25,000 LUNC equivalent. And this is going to make up a total payment out of the community pool of around $50,000. What they end up with in the liquidity pool deployment might differ if they are successful, of course, because essentially they've got to make those conversions, which are obviously going to come with fees. As you know, they've got fees coming off chain as well because of the burn taxes. So it will be a slightly lower amount if it does go through and if it does pass. Like I said, there's a little bit of self-presentation here, and I think this is missing some crucial information, considering, like I was saying, we've got a lot of these new holders that are coming on board, and this is really positive. But from my perspective, this is why we teach history to children in school, so we don't repeat those past historical mistakes. So what I want to do is get everybody absolutely 100% up to speed, as there's not really much to go off of, but the community should be able to make an informed decision and should have all of the relevant information out there. And I know there's not going to be a lot of content creators that bother going this far, bother actually going back and taking us all the way back to around April 2023. So it's a little bit ironic if you think about it, because they suffered the largest exploit in Terra Luna Classic's history this time in 2023. And this was around 15 billion LUNC at the time and 9.7 million Terra that was wiped from the liquidity wallet itself. And I'm not saying that they're going to repeat their past historical mistakes, but we need to understand that these people, if this was a bank, if this was a shop, if this was some kind of everyday project and they had lost $2 million, it was an internal hack, it could have been prevented. The likelihood is these people probably would be in jail. Now, some people might be able to argue that point. I totally understand it. There's many different ways that you could really begin to split these hairs. But what I want to do, like I was saying, is get you guys in the know if you're not in the know. And they value this at around $2 million in the exploit. And it was just days after launch. And during that time, we were aware of the situation that was evolving inside Terra Rebels. We knew exactly what factions went where. There's a huge gap in the time between the hack and now Terraport asking for $50,000. And these are validators. And for you to better understand, Terraport run two more validators. They will argue this point. They'll say they're community owned, they're decentralized, but that is Terra Casino, and then that's going to be Terra C Vita as well, and then of course the Terraport validator. And this is essentially a form of network noding. So again, this is a entity that has had a significant amount of funding in the past. This led them to become a very prominent figure in our ecosystem quite quick, but then seeing that biggest rug coming in, and again, those holders have never been made whole. People on a historical basis should know exactly what they're getting into as an ecosystem if they do decide to just hand Terraport $50,000. Now, what kind of effect is $50,000 going to have on the community pool? For some people, it might not seem significant for face value, but from my perspective, it's not just going to stop at $50,000. If Terraport is able to get a 50k payout with absolutely no strings attached, well, every other DEX out there is going to do the same. And why wouldn't they? That's the point of creating this subDAO, isn't it? To get stablecoin payments out of the community pool. So when we break it down and we actually put a dollar value to this community pool, it's sitting at around $578,000 currently. So if we were to see a $50,000 payment go out, well, essentially we're not going to be able to weather this storm for too long. We're not going to be able to absorb such substantial payments, not only leaving our ecosystem and going to third-party apps, but also seeing that price hit on the overall chart, because yes, although they're using the words convert, it still results in a sell on the overall chart. Now, going forward, I really do believe we should think about our everyday lives. We've got a substantial amount of savings in our bank account. Do we necessarily need to go out and spend money because we've got lots of money? No. Is it going to bring us more money in the future? Well, absolutely not. Furthermore, we shouldn't give out any of the community pool funding with no strings attached. There should be some kind of agreement of what is expected if this funding is in fact handed over. Something else that I want to stress here is we're going to see $25,000 hits on the price if in fact we do see these proposals go through in the future. And that's likely something that's going to be used as a positive front on this proposal when it does go through to the governance stage. The idea and concept, oh, it's only going to be a $25,000 hit. We should really throw money at whatever we have the opportunity to throw money at. And hopefully this magically brings the price up. I think we should be more precise when it comes down to community pool funding, what it goes on, how we really move forward in this evolving environment where everything is really media based. If you want to get the blockchain seen, you're going to need to hire a PR team of some sort. And that's well within our capacity as a decentralized community to actually go forward and do something like that. I really do think that is more feasible than handing that job, that role to one individual validator who can benefit from that individual role. Instead, bringing on a third party, if you will, and actually adopting them into that role and giving them a monthly paycheck, if you will, and really putting those community funds to use. I'm not of the belief that suddenly, because we've got stable coin liquidity out there, it's readily available, this is suddenly going to create a drastic influx. It's simply a situation where we need to build. We need to build more tools. We need to find ways, as DK said, to build cool stuff and really start to attract that online user base, that offline user base internally, externally, in the broader cosmos, from Ethereum, Solana. Our ecosystem is a powerful one, and we have a lot of readily available tools that are there at your dispense, being the user. I think the power is in the ecosystem, it's in the people and their ability to really adopt that technology and push it forward. And adopting that technology normally comes down to people who are building that technology. And sometimes that's validators, sometimes it's everyday community members. But just know you can build on LUNC. That's something that's totally down to you. So the community pool itself could probably absorb, I would say, 11 of these hits before it's completely depleted. That means we could see 11 dexes in total funded with $50,000 a piece, and the community pool would be back to absolutely nothing. Does that mean that's going to be the end result of this scenario? I don't think so. Are we going to be funding 11 different dexes? No, but it could cause a bit of a ripple. We could see a significant amount of the community pool simply go out to third parties. These are things that everybody really does need to absorb. This is kind of the end result, or the beginning, really, if you will, of more of these applications coming forward in support of that subDAO and the validators that are on the subDAO benefiting from those positions. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. It's a little bit, we've got to really keep up with things. We've got to go over the historical basis. But yeah, we're going to keep you guys up to speed. Just stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, and I'll catch you in the next one.